What's up, everybody? How's it going, guys? We don't have a fancy intro for this one yet.
Whoa.
That was a noise.
What was that?
I have no idea.
I think it was a water bottle.
Water bottle.
It's a big one.
Oh, that one fell over.
Yeah.
Okay, that scared the shit out of me. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
How are you guys?
Well, we were having a dry January. Yeah, that's going well.
It's going well, yeah.
Wait, dry January. Then you're good.
February's. Yeah.
February. Yeah, it's February already. This year is as crazy as last year, apparently.
Yes.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. This is our new monthly. Well, as of right now, it's monthly. I'm sure we can mess around with it. Don't really have a place on the calendar for it yet monthly. I don't know, maybe second Saturday of the month, since that's what today is. But we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants on this one. And then for the next ones, moving forward, they'll be a little bit more structured and organized.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to throw them in the chat. We'll post them up. But basically, this entire series is really just meant to highlight the mental health, or I guess lack thereof, aspect of the entire reptile hobby, and how there's a lot of things that either aren't talked about, or I don't know, maybe some people feel like they can't talk about when it comes to this. So we actually came up with this idea on a earlier live with the four of us. And we decided to move forward with it. We got a lot of good feedback on it when we posted on Instagram. And we're just gonna jump right into it and sort of see where it takes us for future shows. I posted on Instagram on the stories about an hour or so ago. If anybody has any topics they want discussed, any major questions that they don't want to just comment on YouTube and have everybody be able to read, feel free to message us directly, or even Sal at House of Guy Pythons if you want.
Yeah.
We're more than happy to go into basically anything revolving around the mental health topic. So don't hold back. We won't. If you want to remain anonymous, just let us know.
Yep.
We have no problem with it. We know that some things are very very touchy when it comes to this subject. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's a huge part of it, is just like if you don't want to know, or if you don't want anyone to know what your question is, we can just put anonymous. It's no problem, and then we can at least discuss it. So,
or we can even just say it was one of our questions, or just something we wanted to discuss. Like
absolutely.
We don't even have to say somebody had the question. So
absolutely.
Anyway, thanks everybody that's already here. 16 people. Damn,
Yeah,
for announcing it 2 hours ago. That's not too shabby.
No, not at all. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I had a bit of a fun day. I'm not sure if you saw my expedition to go pick up deli cups
in the snowstorm.
Oh my god! And I had to push this giant cart through a completely unplowed parking lot to get it to my truck.
That's the worst. I hate that.
And he fell.
And then when I left the apartment, I fell, fucking cracked my head.
Dude, I get angry when I fall like that in the snow. Like, I literally get angry. I'm like,
Sal fell, like, taking out the garbage a couple weeks ago and just came inside and was, like, raging for, like, an hour.
Amy was like, are you hurt? I was like, I don't care about the pain. I'm pissed off. Like, it just, I don't know why. It just, like, gets me angry when I, like, slip and fall. I feel like an idiot. I'm like, how am I still slipping on ice? What am I, like, 7?
I feel like that's what happens to everybody. It's not the pain. It's the, like, embarrassment. Even if nobody sees you.
Yes.
You're embarrassed, like, for yourself almost. You're just like, what the hell? Like how?
Yes. It's so true, man. I hate it.
And then I didn't help because I was like, well, I take the garbage out and I don't slip and fall. So I don't know what the fuck your problem is that you fall.
When I fall hard too. It's not like I'm 113 pounds. Like, I fall and, like, it's hard.
I'm the same, man. I'm like 240. When I fall, I go down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, me too, man.
I do not fall elegantly.
Does anybody?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not that I've seen, but there could be someone out there. Anyway, so if anybody is unaware, this is Sal and Amy of House of Guy Pythons. I know I've mentioned their name once already, but this is sort of a joint idea that came about. So we wanted to have you guys on for at least the first episode. But as I mentioned to you guys, or mentioned to Sal at least, I don't think it would be a terrible idea to just have you both on for every episode and then bring in other guests as well. I
can just stare at Amy and be like, hi. I know, it's funny because when Sal was like, oh, do you want to, like, do it as, like, a recurring thing? I was like, is Sierra going to be there all the time? And Sal was like, yeah, I think so. And I was like, okay, I'll do it then.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah. That's fair.
So I don't think it would be a bad idea to jump right into a topic. I'm not too sure what would be the best starting point for something like this, but if anybody has any suggestions.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
Kathleen.
We could go real heavy, real right away.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Dealing with death, the death of an animal, dealing with and admitting it, and and being transparent with it, because there's a lot of breeders who they're not transparent with the loss and how much it affects them, and from my perspective, I see him and I see he's pissy or he's whatever for days, and he's a man, so he's not going to talk about it. And it's usually somebody's sick or something's
sorry, I didn't mean to
something's about to he's worried, and it's okay to worry about your animals, and it's okay to mourn their death and let it affect you, and you didn't do anything wrong. It happens, but admitting your mistakes and learning from them.
Now, the transparency, though, of it, I don't think that much plays in a mental health aspect.
No.
Because I think that just depends on whether somebody's a shitty person or not. If you're trying to hide that something happened, I don't mean shitty person. I mean, I'm sure everybody's had a situation you just didn't want to share. That's fine.
Yeah.
If something happens and you want to keep it to yourself, that's fine. But if you have something happen that should be shared and you don't for
pride.
Exactly, yeah. That's shitty. But I don't think it's a mental health thing. But
pride is mental health.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. But it's definitely something that isn't talked about enough. Especially anybody getting into this hobby with mental health, any kind of mental health issue. Death in general is not talked about.
No.
And for somebody like me who spends at least, I want to say 2 hours a day in here if I can, to lose a snake that I see every single day. There's not an animal in here that I don't, if anything in here died, even the hognoses that I'm selling, I'd be crushed.
Yeah. It sucks.
But it's to the point where I know people that have lost an animal, and they have depression or severe anxiety and stuff like that, and that losing of the animal actually causes them to um, lose, I don't want to say motivation, but almost lose the energy.
It's discouraging.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
very,
the discouragement
very.
almost shuts them down
Yep.
in relation to the collection. And I've seen people's collections degrade very quickly because of it. And it's tough because you want to say, like, hey, the animals' lives come first, but if you aren't capable of processing what's happening, how can the blame be put on you or any, you know what I mean? It's a really tough, very, very strange line to walk, and it's even tougher to discuss because I don't even know the words to kind of.
It is. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself well to take care of them, and
yeah, and it's like you. No matter what the case is, like even if it's not your fault, you think it's your fault because these animals are depending on us. So it's just like an instantaneous, like you take it upon yourself. You're like, no, maybe I should have done this, or I could have done this differently, or like it's always, even though if it wasn't your fault, you put it on yourself because we are the ones that are keeping them.
That's
the thing.
With Sal, the first time.
Yep.
When he was breeding.
Yep. It sucked. I lost my that clutch I always talk about, that it was my first clutch ever and I lost it, and that literally I was like am I just not cut out for this? Like did I fuck up? What did I do wrong?
That's why I got out of the hobby the first time. My second clutch ever should have been a bunch of worlds first, and
Yep.
some amazing animals, and instead they all died.
Yep. It sucks, man.
Half of them didn't come out, and the other half died after they crawled out.
it happens.
But someone like myself, who's now involved with Nick, and we have this, I don't want to toot my own horn, but amazing collection. It is like
Really?
our animals are phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to lie, but I got discouraged to the point of completely backing out of the hobby. It happens. It happens to everybody at some point. Even if you don't technically have depression or anxiety or any other number of things that might affect your day-to-day and affect your mood and affect your just general ongoings of your life. It's tough. Everybody faces the bullshit side.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
so
whatever your mood is, that's going to affect the person you're with too. So if Chris is in a shitty mood, Sierra can feel that and it's going to make her in a shitty mood. If he's in a shitty mood, I pick up on it instantly, and just like the whole day or whatever it just doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody in the same house feeds off each other's energy.
Yep.
So whatever's happening with the snakes affects everything else at home too.
Unfortunately, and it still does, and it's minor shit too. Like even when I have a bad day of feeding, like I get pissed off. And I'm like, fuck, man, like what the fuck, like what's going on? And then she knows, like as soon as I get home, she's
what
like,
didn't
what
eat?
happened? Yeah, like what happened?
I ask him, I was like, did everything eat? Like, and it's my subtle way is like, are you okay? Like,
as soon as he walks in the door, I'm like, how is everyone?
I'm like, they're all right.
Yeah, like
they're all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But what Amy just said is actually huge, because that's another, like, although it's involved in mental health and generally it's just not talked about in the hobby, but outside the hobby, things that your mental health within the hobby affects outside of it is also huge.
Yeah.
If I have a bad day, we run a Discord. I have a ton of people that reach out to Nick and I per day. And then obviously I interact with Sierra a lot. We live in the same apartment. We take care of our cats. But there's a lot outside of just this room that having a rough mental health day can affect.
And then having an animal say not eat, it amplifies it, and it can be that thing that sets you over the edge. And then you like, I'm worthless. I can't do anything right. And it's just like it happens. It's not gonna eat today. Like don't take things so personally.
There are times when people message me when I'm in kind of a bad headspace, and I make the conscious effort not to reply to them because I don't think either one, I'm gonna give it my 100% attention and actually care at the time, only just because I'm having a hard time holding it together to begin with.
Yeah.
But then too, just because you kind of want to take that time for yourself, and it's selfish, but at the same time you need it.
Yeah.
And then to have those people like 2 hours later be like, "Oh, thanks," like.
Yeah.
Right
people too. There's a person behind this name and the screen, like with real feelings and thoughts. And
I spend a lot of time every day answering questions and just in general, just replying to people over Instagram and Facebook. And when somebody's like, "Oh, thanks," like,
go fuck yourself.
What the hell? Like, everybody has to remember, no matter how big or small someone is, they deal with personal stuff. Yeah. Whether you want to call it mental health or not, everybody deals with bullshit.
Yes.
Right?
We have actual lives. Yeah,
this isn't all we do.
Social media and
there's much more to life. As much as I would love to live in the snake room, we have other things going on. For instance, you could be driving for half an hour. So if I don't answer for half an hour, Mom, I'm driving. God.
This past week, actually, weirdly enough, I had, I think 4 to 5 days, I was driving minimum 5 hours. Yeah. And some days more than that.
See?
And the amount of times that, I'll quickly check the message to see if it's urgent.
Yeah.
So I will lie.
But
he's bad. He texts and drives 100%. All the time.
But if it's not an important message or from her,
bring me snacks.
Which is most of the messages.
That's all I have.
Usually I'll be like, okay, I can reply to this one when I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm driving, whatever. Yeah. I'll get to it later. And the amount of people that do that pull that whole.
Sorry.
It's okay. I do it all the time. That whole, you don't have time to answer a message, like.
Yeah, I hate you. That's why I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna answer you.
Not anymore.
Now I'm not.
Yeah, that's an instant no reply.
Yeah. Like.
Oh, I've told a few people off, just straight up, just like, fuck you. Like, I don't owe you shit.
Exactly. Like, give me a second, man. It can't be that and especially if it's like, my snake isn't breeding. Like, what do you think I should do? Does that have to be answered within like half an hour? Like, you have
to probably. And there's so many follow-up questions with that too. So it's like, let me sit down and we'll have a conversation. Not one word answer while I'm driving. Like, dumb shit.
Then you can't win with that either, because then they're like,
no, you can't.
The quick answer.
There's no winning. People suck.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's so hard. But what was one challenge recently that you've come across that you had to find a way to overcome that? Isn't a day-to-day issue, isn't a day-to-day challenge? When it comes to snake keeping, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, like for snake keeping, I think,
These damn kids!
Seriously.
True.
I think it's so funny because I know other people are going to be like, oh yeah, like, oh, poor baby. But like, when I've been used to having my snakes at home for so long, and then now having them like at a different, like at a space, not at home, it is stressful for me because I can't simply, anytime you have that, like that thing in your head where you're like, oh, I just want to go check to see if they're locked, or, oh, I can just I can go and look in the look at the incubator just to make sure everything's good. I
think that's his big reservation too. He doesn't want to move to a facility because he's always in and out.
Yes. And I miss that. I and it makes me anxious. Like I'm an anxious person, so having that, and I don't get me wrong, guys, like I appreciate the fact that I have that. And I feel very fortunate for it, but it makes me anxious because I don't have that sense of control where I can just walk into my snake room. Oh, this snake's good. Oh, this one, like even as simple as feeding. Like I have to go there first, unthaw my rats. Then I come back home, wait for the rats to unthaw. Then I have to kind of guess when they're going to be unthawed perfectly. Then drive back, feed them. Like it's, and I know I'm not trying to, I'm like, oh, my first world problems here, but like,
that's what this is about, though.
But that's the thing. You should not dismiss issues because you're like, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. Like, no,
I chose to do this.
It happens.
Still a thing, and
Yeah.
you still feel for it. Like,
now, one of my big reservations, because Nick and I back in the summer, like early fall, we're looking at a place, and we almost actually got it as the facility that we were going to get.
Oh, you mean our apartment and the facility?
Well,
You and Nick.
Our apartment was not part of the conversation, but yes, we were going to move somewhere where our apartment would be across the hall. But then after the apartment fell through, Nick and I were still trying to get the facility.
Okay.
And as much as I love the time I spend in here, I really like that I can kind of come and go. So
yeah.
Say I come to do the adult rack, I do 3 rows, and I go, you know what? I'm going to go, hang out in the living room, play a couple rounds of my video game or whatever, come back and finish later. At a facility, you don't have that option. And
nope.
It's good in a way because it kind of forces you to focus and get it done.
Yes.
But at the same time, I could very easily see myself having a bad day and just be like, I don't want to go today.
That's
and that's a bad habit to get into.
You got it. And that happens to me. Like we're gonna be truthful. Like that does happen. I'll have my bad days. Everyone has that shitty day where they wake up and you're just like, fuck, man, I don't feel like doing anything today. That happens. And then I'm like, and then in the winter, especially when it's like -30 out and the roads are shitty, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like I have to go to spray, like essentially, because I know I'm like the odds are I'm gonna have 3 to 5 snakes that shit, and the rest is just gonna be me spraying, and that's it. And I have to go throughout the blizzard, and I can't just go downstairs to the bedroom and be like, all right, this one pooped, there we go, or I'll do 5 at a time, and I'll go again in 3 hours, like you said, it has its positive sides. Like I'm not complaining but that is the side of it where it's a daily anxiety of me not knowing how they're doing. Or
that leads to obsession too, though. That leads to over checking and then over checking, and other parts of your life get neglected, and it sucks.
Which can be a completely separate issue, which kind of leads me into where I was going when I asked you that recent question about like something you've dealt with recently.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, a couple weekends ago, one of our hedgehogs had babies, right? And I was super excited about it, and I took some pictures and posted about it. I was so stoked because we had been waiting a while, and this was supposed to be the last litter we were going to have with our breeder females before we kind of moved on from breeding hedgehogs.
Yeah.
Well, me being, a little anxious, a little worried, I think I messed with the mom a little too much. Not a lot, but, I wanted to see how many babies there were, check to see they were okay, all that kind of stuff. Come back 3 hours later, and she'd killed them both.
Yeah.
And she could have been planning to do that anyway. Like, that could have happened regardless.
Yeah, easily.
But I can't help but feel like it was me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That caused it. And oh man, it just killed me. Like it made me not even want to walk in this room. It was so bad.
Yep. And like it probably wasn't you, but that's
and we've had them die before too. Yeah. Like it's a thing hedgehogs are finicky, and they're just like, no, I don't want these, and they'll just kill them. And it's devastating.
Well, and it was a smaller litter too, so it was an oddly small litter. So I think there was something going on anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But like stuff like that sticks with you, and you'll never I'll never know if it was my fault. Never.
Nope.
And that's the worst part about it. It sucks. Like it just
Yeah, man, it does suck, and I'm sorry to hear, because and even I used to breed ASFs, and it was a similar thing. Like they just, I mean, a lot of small rodents are like this. They just, as if they know that there is something wrong, and that it's a savage way too. It's not like a, it's a bad way that they usually take them out. So it's not even a it's a really brutal sight to see as well. And
Yeah, it's carnage.
yeah.
See, the thing is, I understand why it's done, whether it's stress or whatever. When it comes to like small rodents, it's to preserve their energy. Yes, please. So if they think that they're in danger, they'd rather not put their babies at risk and kill them themselves,
Yes.
eat
Right.
them, get the energy back, and then live to have another litter, right? The hedgehogs kind of just go, fuck this, and just like they don't eat them, they just bite them on the head.
Yeah, and just kill them essentially.
And it's brutal, man. It's not something you want to see.
No kidding. Like that, and oh god.
Yeah, I don't think I can deal with that.
It's yeah, and see like that.
I'm a bride, guys.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Fancy. Yeah, no, that's brutal, man. And it is. It's something that sticks with you for a long time, and it's like it's hard to forget seeing stuff like that and just having that on you where it's like, shit, did I do something? When in fact you probably didn't, but still, it's hard to pass that.
And
thought.
Sal's like the worst person for like thinking worst case. Like he has anxiety to begin with, so just no matter what, his mind goes to like worst case.
I always do that with like
scenario.
everything, like not just like reptile related stuff, with everything in life. Like, and I'm an anxious person. That's just how I am, and I'm socially awkward too. So it's
You
perfect.
know.
It doesn't seem like it, but I really am socially awkward.
That was sarcasm.
Okay, good. See? That's why I like Seinfeld so much. I
Good
get it.
stuff.
Cab.
Caps up.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah, I
was-
didn't bust any out tonight.
Can we
should've-
get it?
I can get it.
You're not gonna have your one glass of wine and get
Yeah, I
all.
should.
Woo!
Yeah, then we can have. Then the real fun can start. And another thing.
I don't like any of you
Yeah.
fuckers.
And fuck this guy and fuck this guy.
Yes, please. I'll just drink it from the bottle.
So the reason I brought up the whole death thing was I feel like it's a really, really important thing to press that it's normal in this hobby and anticipate it, expect it. It happens to the best, it happens to the worst, and it needs to, I don't know, it needs to, like, obviously not destigmatize, because animals dying is never a good thing, but it's not always your fault. Like, losing a clutch is not, like, it's not out of the ordinary. You know,
I just lost my only egg in the incubator.
yeah, like, you're captive breeding an animal in non-natural, like, it's not a natural situation for these animals, and you're doing the best you can, but you don't know what happens in the wild. You don't know how many, you know,
It goes beyond that too, though. Like, we don't see all the problems that happen beneath the surface, right?
yeah.
If you have a female that's technically infertile, she could lay very fertile-looking eggs, and they could go bad on you year after year after year, and you could think it's your fault. She could be completely calcifying these eggs and making them look fucking pristine for you.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that they are.
Yep, it's true.
And that can weigh on somebody for a long time, but you'll never know that that's actually the female's fault. I mean, after probably 3 years, you probably figure out, oh, there's something going on.
Right.
But for the year one, you're like, oh, fuck, what did I do? Like,
yes, exactly.
what did I fuck up? Year two, you're probably like, I did it again. How? What did I do?
Yep.
And then year three, you're probably like, there might be something going on. But that's 2 years of beating yourself up over something. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. And especially if you have a smaller collection like most people do, like if you're only working with, let's just say, like 4 or 5 females, which usually that's not the case. Once you get to that many, you usually go nuts. But if you are working with 4 or 5, and even if it's just one female and she does it for you 2 years or 3 years in a row, that's huge. That's a big hit. Especially when you're looking forward to it each year, you know? So yeah. And it does suck because like you don't really see a lot of those posts. And I think now it's coming out a bit more like nowadays, but especially when like back when Chris and I like got out of it, that shit was never posted, man. Because if you posted something like that, everyone would jump on the fact that you sucked at breeding.
Yeah, your temps are
You're
off. You're
terrible
keeping it in the
breeder.
wrong container. You're doing this. You're doing, and that's the kind
It
of
had
shit.
to be something you did wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the kind of
exactly.
shit that this kind of hobby like breeds. It breeds know-it-alls and keyboard warriors, and they're all there to make you feel like shit because they don't know what the fuck they're talking
Well,
about.
It did.
Yep.
It did.
It's
Back in the
gotten
day,
a lot
100%.
better.
Yes.
It has got a
Yes.
lot better, but there's still a lot of dumb shits out there who think they know, and
For sure.
they're killing their animals and blaming everybody else for it. Like,
Cutting umbilicuses on video and
Whoops.
letting babies breed out and giggling and no,
Yeah.
it's like being a vet.
mailing out animals that are too
Like,
young and
idiot.
no food.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna punch that guy one day. We'll get it on video.
Oh my god, that'd be.
But
amazing.
if you care enough to worry about it being your fault, then it probably isn't, because you care and you're doing all you can to
Yeah.
make sure the animal thrives.
That's a good way to put it,
Yep.
actually.
It is actually.
Yeah.
And even when it is, shit happens.
Nobody's
Yes.
perfect.
Everybody,
Learn from it.
I fuck up
Yes.
all the time. I've spent years learning off Billy. I have tons of snakes. I still fuck up. Perfect example. 2 weeks ago, I stayed home a bit later in the morning than I usually do. I was doing some snake stuff in the morning, and I told my boss I'd be in around 10. I usually go in like 8:30 to 9:30, and I was like, I'll be in a bit later. And I was just running through the snakes and kind of just doing a really quick spot clean for the adults. And hedgehog is digging.
Gus!
I threw one of my virgin males in with a female, and he hasn't been giving us a lot of good signs that he's gonna get going, right? So
Yeah.
so I threw in my youngest proven breeder. So my youngest male that like just started breeding, thinking, okay, I'll come back and check them in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I took a phone call from work saying, like, fuck, you got to get in. Like, there's something going on. And I left.
Oh shit.
2 males, 1 female, same time.
Oh.
I remember him coming home just like, ah!
Oh my
Wow, that was loud.
Sorry. I'm aggressive.
You're good.
But yeah, he was like, I can't believe I fucking did that. Like, he just...
And I got very, very lucky because the proven male was just locked up with the female, and the virgin male was just chilling in the back corner. So best possible case scenario for me, because I also picked a male that if he locked, I wasn't going to be upset about it.
Right. No.
You know what I mean? Just in case. But oh my god, it was probably one of our best males too, like the virgin.
Yeah.
And if people aren't aware of this, males can lock males. They can lock males
Yep.
as sign of dominance, and when they do, they can do very severe damage to the male they are locking.
Oh my
Possibly permanent damage to their naughty parts.
I didn't realize about the damage, but I knew they could lock. But that's
No,
It can fuck
I had
them
no
up.
it can fuck them up hard.
Yeah.
Like, it can make them
That's-
sterile.
So they
Holy crap!
literally are having a sword fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dual sword
With 2
fight.
wieners.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
I'm
is
an
nuts,
adult.
though.
Double wiener sword fight.
Well, I don't want to share it this way, but I'm going to, and I don't want anybody to judge me on it.
Nice
but they
segue.
will.
What are 2 wiener sword fight and
No, I'm still talking about that.
This is
Okay.
still about the 2-wiener sword fight.
Imagine, if you will, this is the best way that I can put the image in your head properly. One male, a dude, a person, and another one. And they do this, and they push until one loses. What happens?
One's going is one going inside the other?
Gonna break, or it's gonna go the wrong way?
is that called docking?
I have no idea. But that's basically what happens. So when the male locks the other male, he attempts to push his hemipenes into the male. The male doesn't have the pocket to receive them.
Man.
So the aggressor male forces them in.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
I could have lost one of my potential like heavy hitter males because I took a fucking phone call and didn't think for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dylan, you don't want to know, buddy.
Is anyone else turned on?
What did all this heavy peen talk?
Oh, this
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Sammy, that's funny.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's a big thing. And for me to make a mistake like that, like I felt like garbage. Like I literally texted Sierra, I was like, I'm coming home right now. And she was like, why? Because I had left not long ago. And I told her, and she was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
And he felt so stupid, but like it's like everybody fucking makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
And that brings us back to like how we still have lives outside of this. Like you got called to rush to work, like you had to go to.
Yeah, and he's got a really demanding job, and it's just it takes up most of his mental capacity. So
exactly. So it's not. It isn't your fault, but yeah, this shit happens, man. It's just.
And stuff like that happens with I mean, like, it was like a couple of years ago. We woke up in the morning and we were like, where's the dog? And we fucking left her outside all night in the backyard.
At least it wasn't a kid.
6 hours. That's true.
Yes.
But for like 6 hours.
We felt terrible.
We've had
I
snakes
felt so
escape.
bad.
Like
thank
we
God it was
bought the
summer,
wrong
but
size things for hognose babies, and they're gone. I find them every fucking time. But
It literally happened to me 3 weeks ago.
yeah, like they get
I bought
out.
a new tub for them, the babies I have growing up, and I didn't push them back far enough. And because there's a tiny gap, the one hog nose, because the little fucking shovel nose, like it just sort of
yeah.
Yep.
inched his way.
Out. Yeah.
It happens.
So yeah, I had a male Western hognose, not hatchling, but he was what the hell? He's probably 2-3 months old, and oh, you missed the conversation about a dick pushing another dick into itself. Sorry, Jamie.
You'll have to watch it back after.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you've ever seen a hatchling hognose before, but losing a ball python is bad. Losing a fucking hatchling hognose?
I can't. It's like losing a worm. Like
Bye.
Yeah,
like
legit.
literally a
Bye.
worm.
And the first one was found by somebody watching our cats, and it was in our cat food.
Yeah, luckily, Sammy,
Yeah.
who is in the
Her,
chat, I just posted one of her comments, was watching our apartment and actually found her for us.
and she was like, this isn't normal. And she has a fainting disorder, so it not a good story.
Luckily, Nick was around and he came by and
Yeah.
handled it. But then,
2 more got out. Toby found both of them right in front of the bathroom. Like I saw the cat staring. I was like, "The fuck is that?" And then I like pick up this little worm. Like, oh, there's a baby snake.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
yeah,
That's
so
crazy. Holy crap! Never thought of
you
it.
can't like. I don't want to say you can't beat yourself up over everything, but it's okay to like. It's not a bad thing to worry, to feel bad about something that you probably could have done better.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not a bad thing, and it's also not a bad thing to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I
That's
lose
the
a snake,
important
I mean, she's not in the chat, but usually the first person I tell, well, after Sierra, because I don't want her
part. Yeah.
coming across the animal being like, what the fuck, is Corey Martin. Because she always tells me when she loses her snakes. But it's just,
Oh my
it's
God.
just like, it's really helpful to have somebody that you can unload your I don't want to say fuck ups, but your
Anxiety.
less than stellar moments on,
Yes.
right?
Stellar moments.
Yeah. It is nice because especially if they can tell you theirs, because then it makes it normalizes all of this. That's
Well, talking about anything will normalize it. As
Yeah.
if you're talking to someone, they're like, "Hey, I feel the same way," or "That's happened to me." You're like, "Oh, I'm not a fucking idiot." Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Well, I am, but I'm not as much of one as I thought
Yeah.
because I'm not the only person that's done this thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
And that's why we wanted to do this, because
Yeah.
You don't want to discourage new breeders to sell off their collections after they lose a baby, and it's like it's gonna happen. Or if they lose a snake, it happens. Like,
Absolutely.
no, it fucking happens.
So far, the worst mistake I've made has now made me recognize the smell of decaying rat in a warm enclosure.
Oh,
Funny story.
Yep.
Happened to me today.
Oh,
yep. He was
God.
looking for the dead.
I walked into my snake room and I probably spent 2 hours and I went through every snake bin probably 5 times thinking a snake was dead. And I was fucking like at 110. Like
He stormed out of the house after that.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, something's dead. I don't know what it is. And the worst part is that at one point I thought it was one of Sierra's pet rats.
Oh no!
He thought it was Scroats.
No, I thought it was Cheddar.
Oh, he thought it was Cheddar.
Scroats was up at the top, and oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Luckily, I calmed down and I went through the adults again, and I just started moving every animal. Like I'd open a bin. The first time I just went through checking to see if any snakes were dead. Right.
Yep.
Second time, I went through and moved all the snakes to make sure there's nothing underneath them, a regurg or whatever. And I have a yellow belly het pied. The bitch fucking killed a rat. Left it, and then pushed a bunch of shavings over it and sat on top of it,
Oh my
right
God.
on the heat. Right on the heat.
No, that's the worst, man. That smell. That must have hit you as soon as you walked in the room.
It did. That's what I'm saying. Like I literally
Like, as
walked
soon
out of
as
the
you
snake
walked
room
in.
and I was like, I smell something dead and it's fucking driving me crazy
Yep.
because I can't take this. I need to find it.
And that smell is something else.
Oh, it is.
Like he's worked professions where that smell is common, and I've worked professions where that smell is common. So we both I smell death.
I've cleaned up dead bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've worked in 1,000 disgusting kitchens, and rotting meat, I know that smell.
It's a very certain smell, and I do it every time too. As soon as I walk in after the day of feeding, I'm like, okay, who didn't eat? Like, it's
Yeah,
immediate.
something's dead.
So,
But the worst part was while I was trying to find this, like I had a pickup window for our deli cups, the ones that I posted about.
Yeah.
And I came into the snake room. My pickup time was between 3 and 5. I came in the snake room at like maybe 2:15. I didn't leave until I didn't come out until like 3:30.
oh man,
And we just had a fucking snowstorm. Where I'm going is 30 minutes away and probably an hour.
And him and I just got in a fight.
Yeah,
So
and we were
it's just
fucking
Yeah, it was
There's
a thing.
like,
It's like
and then you fell too on top. Was that? On
Yeah,
the
and then
way
he
in?
fell.
And
So
then
he
I fucking
he
fell.
stormed
Oh.
out of the apartment. And I was like, whatever, bye. And he texted me. He's like, I might have to go to the urgent care because I fell. And I was like, oh, you okay?
I was like, yeah, I fell and I'm dizzy. Or I was like, I fell and I was dizzy. But the dizziness is gone. But if it comes back, I'm going to the hospital because
oh my God.
I was trained to know how to like read concussions and stuff like that. So like I was making sure I could follow my own finger and stuff like that. And I was like, if the dizziness comes back, I'm probably going to go to the doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, man.
It's
But
been
that's
a
how
day.
that's how it goes, though. It's like it's always like that. It's like one thing after another, and it just like piles on. And I mean, you're like, I don't know if it's really the attraction of it, where it's like because you're already set in that mood that every little thing can set you off, but.
It is. You're irritated already, and then it's just going to be everything's
And
magnified. And
That's probably why I fell too, because
He
I was
was
kind of in a pissy mood. So I was
stomping
probably stomping around
around,
in this much snow, and there was a sheet of ice because
what
it
did you
snowed.
learn?
It snowed, melted, and then snowed like fuck.
Yep.
So there was like a sheet of ice and then a ton of snow. So it was likely my fault, but still, it wasn't a good day.
No,
Yeah.
that's brutal, man.
That's
Like,
the reason for wine tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was driving, and she was like, "I just want to get wasted," and I was like, "Yep, I'm okay with that."
Sure.
It's been one of those days.
those are the days that it's good for. Like, just like let's just go ahead and not worry about any of that shit.
Yeah, Christina, not like dead rats are bad. The
Waterlogged. dead rats.
waterlogged dead rats.
They are 100 times and breeders.
Next level
Those are like the
gross.
2 worst.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
very glad that the hognose eat mice because when they die, they seem to dry out quicker, and they don't seem to smell as bad. Like there's still a smell,
Yeah.
but they don't smell as bad. Now, alternatively, the hognoses seem to regurge more,
And that
and
Reek.
that fucking reeks.
Regurges is like the worst like smell I can.
It's
one
like
of the worst
death
smells I
mixed
can
with
think of.
shit, mixed with vomit, and it's
Yes.
just the worst. It's the
Like,
worst.
how is there a smell created worse than a dying animal? Like, why would that be?
A dying animal that's been thrown
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
It's literally a dying animal that's been covered in digestive juices that is still
Oh.
digesting while decomposing
Yes.
outside of your snake.
of the body. Like it's.
I can see why that might smell gross.
It's so.
So gross. I've
It's
walked in
so
here like I remember the first time I smelled it, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I'm like, I know death. I know that smell, and that was like, whoo.
Yeah.
I literally walked out of our apartment building one day, like our apartment building, our door in our apartment, and took a breath, and I came back in and I was like, someone died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, I know.
Yeah.
It's like,
And somebody had died.
Somebody had died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he just stepped out the hallway and sniffed. Is like, yep, there's a dead body in the building. We have a lot of elderly people. Like this is a really old building, and we're very, very fortunate because it's very well maintained. It's like nobody
It's
leaves.
quiet for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Not a lot of.
But it
overlap.
comes with a lot of elderly people, and sometimes you get a smell, and it's like, oh, that's really sad.
Oh man, that's.
As long as it's not the old guy down the hall, because that'll get gross real fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's always remarkable to me when you see those movies or shows where people are like, someone had died in the apartment a week ago, and you're like, yeah, fucking right, man. If that
Yeah, how
guy
did nobody smell that?
When they
No
walk
one-
in, they're like, "Oh, this guy's dead." Like you would have smelled him a mile before you
Yeah,
found him.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, holy crap.
That was when we first moved in. That smell. Remember
It was
that?
while our first landlord was still here.
The cool landlord that was selling beer out of the shed. Love that
amazing.
guy.
It was the best. He stole a bunch of beer and then he sold it to us
He
for
like
half price.
robbed like a beer truck. He'd also like give us weed for like doing small tasks.
I actually don't know if that's what he did. I just want
he
to
had
be
a friend.
clear.
He had a friend. He had a
Yeah,
friend.
I don't want to. I do not want to say anything that's gonna potentially condemn this guy, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
he had some beer. That's all I'll say.
It was cheap.
Damn you, wards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
What?
Nasty smells.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh man.
What was that?
There's something about
Oh.
boas that like, and I've only had it once because luckily I've never really had to deal with like regurges for my boas, but one time I did, and that was the worst smell I have ever smelled in my life. It was just like a large rat, but it was terrible, and I felt bad because I know they don't deal with regurges too well, but I mean no snake does really, but yeah, just repulsive.
We had a buddy of ours buy a male. It was what's it? Special yellow belly something Posset Monsoon male.
Nice.
Took it home, fed it very shortly after he got it home. It regurged. He didn't know any better. Fed it again 5 days later.
What?
Yeah. So that sucked for a powerhouse male that was very likely had monsoon based on the markers.
Oh my
Would
god.
have rather kept them.
Oh no. Like, okay, hold on a second. Did he he refroze it or he left?
No, he didn't feed the regurg
Fed
back.
it
He
very
fed it-
short
he
after a
fed it
regurge.
Another. So basically, if you have a regurg, you have to wait at least 10 to 12 days
Okay.
to let their juices settle.
Right. At first I thought, okay, that's still bad, but what I thought you initially said would have been just disgusting, and I was like, how did he do that?
It's like a dog eating its own barf.
Yeah, I was like, so he refroze it and fed it again?
You left it off too
Creepy.
short. It was gonna be all creepy and stuff.
I saw it
Ah,
on the
what are
replay.
you doing?
It's all stupid.
It's a disco in here. It's on the wrong setting.
I
Discoteca.
Discoteca. Cool. Cool.
I just felt like we should have a rave. I don't know.
Awesome.
Time
What's
for-
going on, Cody?
Cody, what's up, man? I liked June's comment. What's going on in here?
Yeah. Ugh.
Just having a good time. talking about regurges and sword fights with snakes.
And anxiety.
Pushing dicks and other dicks.
Right. Yeah.
That's my other job.
Oh,
We got off topic a bit.
I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Oh my
He's
God,
distracted.
Yes.
Speaking of mental health,
Dude, who
Oh
sent
my
that?
god.
what happened?
Who sent that?
What? Oh,
I can't
Yeah.
look on here.
I'm so happy to have this
Oh.
shirt.
Sorry.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing. Jesus Christ, man. Holy, I can't believe how far that, like, you got a shirt made from it. Like, that's just amazing.
somebody sent him that.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
I didn't pay for this.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think you did.
I'm very happy it just showed up. Not sure if I'll ever wear it outside, but
Why
I
not?
mean, I would, but that's me. I wear a shirt of Tom Segura that says "Piss on me, beat me." So
you guys know who Tom Segura is?
I'll wear anything.
Okay, after we're done,
Not cool anymore.
you spend your night on Netflix watching his stand-up specials.
and then you're gonna watch or listen to your mom's house podcast.
You'll become fans quickly.
Your mom's house podcast.
That's what it's called. Yeah, your mom's house. It's so good.
What was it? Tom Segura.
Tom Segura. Yeah,
I'll send you a link, Amy.
We will watch it.
you will enjoy it. Like if you have even close to our sense of humor, like oh my god, he's probably the funniest
Person.
stand-up comedian that I've ever come across.
Yeah, he's good.
Super
We
vulgar.
saw him in he has a bit about London, Ontario, and he shits on it. And then we went and saw him live in London, Ontario.
In London,
We
Ontario.
chose London out of like everywhere around us because we wanted to be there because he shit on it. And he went back, so we went and saw him there.
So Toronto is about
An hour and 15 from London? An hour and a half
what? From London.
from London?
I was gonna say Toronto is about 45 minutes from us one way. London's about an hour 30, an hour 40 the other way. Well, where we were going in London anyway. I mean, I think it's like an hour 10, hour 20.
London's a shithole.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, we chose the much further, well, not much, but decently further drive just to see him
In London.
in London because of the
See his
joke.
reaction.
Oh, here we go. That's what's up. Anyway, this live kind of went off the rails a little bit, but that's okay.
It's hard not to. Like,
It really is.
I feel like it's hard not to a little bit anyway. And we had some good topics at first. I think we got into it a little bit
first.
at first. Well, for like the first 40 minutes we were.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand, at least briefly, because I'm sure we'll go off the deep end again.
Yep.
But what's something that seems not stupid, but seems minuscule, but still bothered you recently? Like, for example, because I can't enunciate my question properly,
No worries.
we have a male, Yo-Yo. You've seen him in the Discord.
Oh yeah.
He's about 780 grams. He's producing sperm. He's doing everything he needs to be doing. And he just won't lock. And although I know in my brain that he's a first-year male and he's still very young, like he just grew really quickly,
Yep.
and that there's probably a good chance he won't breed this year, I'm letting myself get frustrated at the fact that I can't get a lock out of him because I want it, even though I know it probably won't happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean because I was.
I'm getting frustrated over the fact that something that shouldn't happen
Like
isn't happening.
irrational frustration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
This animal's probably 3 to 4 months away from.
Like you know all the logic behind it.
yeah,
But you're still
but it's
really bothered
still
by it.
bothering.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, have you had anything like that happen to you?
I was as soon as you asked because I knew where you were going. I was gonna mention. I just posted him today. My Banana Mojave Pied. It's the exact same situation. He is. So I think technically because I didn't produce him, but I think it would be his second year now. In 2021 would be his second year. And he is over 850 grams. And I've only caught him locked once. And that has been it. And he's been with multiple females. So I know it's not just like the female being picky or him being picky with that certain female. I've tried him with other females. And every time I go back to the shop and open the bin, they're on opposite sides. Like, he just doesn't give a shit.
Gay.
So and he was my male that I was probably most excited for this year. I was most excited to either make hets with him or make visual Mojave Pieds with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exact same situation. I'm like, dude, you eat amazing. Like, he's one of my best feeders. I don't power feed him. He eats small rats. He was eating weaned before that. And everything else seems good. I have other snakes breeding. The males that are in the same rack as him are breeding. So it's not like I didn't think it was a temperature thing or anything like that. He's producing sperm plugs.
Doesn't want to.
Just not showing
Gay.
interest.
I told you he's
once.
gay. Support his choices and just let him go to the disco.
Weirdly enough, the fact that you say that, there's I don't want to say local, but somebody fairly close to us. I don't want to say any names, but there's a breeder here that bought a proven pastel banana and sheep pied male from Marcus Jane.
Ooh.
Reputable breeder.
Yep.
Proven breeder. Showed documented evidence of this animal locking more than once. Like, showed multiple pictures locked to multiple animals. They bought this animal as a proven breeder. He was like 950 grams, looked good, great body weight, had been eating, all that fun stuff. They had him for 16 months, I think. Not a single lock.
Oh, that is so frustrating. Especially
it happens.
I know, and that's why, and especially in that case, that would make me think like, okay, I'm doing something wrong here. Then
it could have just been the move, though. It could have just been, I'm stressed out. Fuck you. Like,
yep.
I liked my home before.
Yeah, different environment, 100%. Even after the fact, like, if there has to be a thing. Like, I mean, just atmospheric pressures and like, just for instance, in Calgary, like, the reason I get so many migraines is because of our Chinooks. Like, we have insane Chinooks here, like, constantly.
So it's always changing the air pressure, and
yeah.
Do you want to explain that to people that might not understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, to people who don't know what Chinooks are.
I barely know how to explain what a Chinook is. I just know it affects my migraines.
A Chinook is like a big, like,
it's a
gust.
A big.
It's like a big air mass.
Yeah, big warm air mass. So basically, in the dead of winter, it can be minus 25, and then later in the day, it can go up to like +1 randomly.
Yeah,
like it's just
you get all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's because of the pressure change. It's like horrible for migraines.
Like, I always quote every day, and she probably gets annoyed. I'm like, oh, it's fucking 3 o'clock. Here comes the sun, because it's like cloudy every goddamn day, and then as soon as it hits 3 o'clock, it's like it looks like summer outside.
Chinooks are. Do you remember when Leonardo DiCaprio was filming like The Revenant up here in like Alberta, and he was talking about like, oh, there's global warming, and all of a sudden it'll
those are just Chinooks, bud.
Blah blah blah, and like everybody in this area was like making fun of him because that's a Chinook, but he doesn't know what a Chinook is, and he was like talking about climate change or whatever.
Yeah. Sammy, you're the best. I thought he was saying schnapps.
He was saying schnapps. It's just all the drinking.
Yeah.
The schnapps are getting me, man.
The schnapps are coming.
I don't know if the snakes just aren't adapted to the schnapps or if it's...
I keep putting it in their waters, but they just aren't going for it.
I've tried different schnapps.
Yeah. I went peach, I did butterscotch.
I tried peppermint. I tried everything.
Yeah, those fuckers don't like it.
Oh my god. Wow, I haven't had schnapps in many, many years.
I don't want to.
It's because it's a teenager drink.
Yeah, I think that's probably
That's why every Canadian drinks, like on their way to their first concert, you're chugging like a little bottle of like peach schnapps. And you're like, oh, I like concerts. This is fun.
Yeah. Those little Mickeys are everywhere. They're always like,
Fireball.
Oh, Fireball.
Oh my god, Fireball.
We bought a 60-ounce bottle of Fireball because it was on sale, and it was our guest shots. So anytime we had people we wanted them to leave, we would start pouring shots of Fireball.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It worked the opposite way for a few parties.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I love Fireball. Do you? Perfect.
Gabby.
Yep. And what's her name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gabby and Alyssa. Hey, but that was fun when they stayed.
No,
late.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
complaining. It was
Yeah.
just funny. They were like, yeah! And I was like, oh.
Oh, really?
And then it's like 5 a.m. and I'm ushering Alyssa out of the house. Like, you have to go now. Get out of here.
Out!
You guys can just take it. Just take it.
Well, there was one time we were sleeping and it was like 10 a.m. and she just walked by the bedroom like, oh, guess Alyssa's still here.
You guys want a shot or? Oh my
I wanted
god.
to make you a drink.
Yes,
That's
Cody. Minus 55. Yeah, it's been cold the last week here, man. Like insane. Like high of minus 30 during the day.
Oh, we're at minus 20 right now.
That's
So.
still brutal.
And it's been snowing hard. We got a big storm, so we're fucked.
Okay,
Fun.
we're at 9 o'clock. I said our first episode was only going to go till 9. So,
Yeah.
is there anything any of you three, that does not include me, want to discuss before we end this first one?
I'm okay.
No, I think we're good.
But-
I mean, I think we touched base on a lot of good points already too. Like, just I just want to say, like, again, like, not beating yourself up for stuff that's not in your control, and not just in reptiles, but in every aspect of life. And it's hard for me to say that because I do that.
Same
And-
here, buddy.
Yeah, you know, it's hard not to beat yourself up, and everyone makes mistakes. We're all human, so just keep doing what you're doing and like keep going with your plan. If shit fucks up, it happens. Like it's not necessarily your fault. So
Don't get discouraged.
If anybody in the chat has any comments
Yeah.
or questions for us to address before we go, drop them now. We'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, drop either myself or Sal a message on Instagram between now and the next episode. And we'll get to anything. There are a few things I want to discuss, but not right now on this topic, on this episode, because we're ending it shortly. But there are a few more things I want to get into that I purposely didn't, because I think
This is just the first one.
I think they need an episode in and of themselves. I'll throw a little hint out there, but the next one that I was thinking of was care while you're dealing with something. Care for the animals while you're going through something, and not just a bad day, because everybody's
A
gone through a
death in the
bad
family,
period.
like
yeah.
you're going through a loss, you're going through a job change, you're going through moving, you're going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the depletion of care over a span of time due to something that happens is a big topic, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to own up to the fact that it's happened to them, and it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to
Yep.
a majority of the people in this industry at some point. And I think it's a big topic that I think deserves its own episode, free of this one. But I think that's a good starting point for our next episode.
Yeah.
100%
External.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of talk. There's a
External
lot of
issues
stuff
that
Yeah.
impact the care of your animals.
Yeah.
External issues that don't let you be the best keeper you can be, because it happens to everybody.
Absolutely.
So that'll be next week. Month. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Are we going to do this every day?
See you tomorrow.
Just do a live every day of the week
Ugh.
about something different.
We will do it tomorrow,
Exhausting.
but they'll be 5-minute episodes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're each a minute. They're all shorts. They're all YouTube shorts.
okay, so we're just gonna go through this really quickly, guys.
People are sad we're leaving.
I mean, we don't have to leave right away. I said 9 o'clock because a bunch of lives are starting at 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can go a couple more minutes, guys. If somebody wants to drop one last topic in the chat for us to go over. I have no problem this going a few more minutes.
Sounds like fuck you guys. I got shit to do.
No,
Sounds like I should go.
no, we're good. If anyone
Yeah,
has
a
any
few
questions, right?
more minutes.
Yeah.
we'll just go
Internet
like
shopping.
10, 15
Oh no!
minutes.
What's? Oh, that didn't
We're
work.
going
Out.
under a bridge.
Must be bad reception.
It's all that storm weather we've been having. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, we can still like chill for a bit. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it was
Let's ask Amy why her hair's so pretty.
yes.
That's a good question.
Why?
Why, Amy?
So-
Why is your hair so pretty?
Before, this is the longest my hair has been in probably about 10 years.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Before quarantine, COVID, whatever, I shaved my head down to my whole head down to a number 1. So this is what has
You look like you'd have a good head for a bald
She
head.
does
come.
actually. She does.
Yeah.
You have like good jaw structure, so I feel like it would really
Yes,
balance it out.
That's what I told her too.
I mean,
She
I
knows.
have too many chins for bald.
the only complaint I have is I felt like I had to wear makeup every day.
She would say.
Oh, that's fair, yeah. Because you
When
like you want to have the eyebrows, so it's like the stark contrast.
Me
Otherwise,
too.
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah.
cancer patient.
But
We got the beards though, so
yeah.
I will say though, I have a terrible shaved head. I think I do anyway. I just think it looks.
You know, yep. The problem is, have you shaved your head before?
Not like down to like a number 1 essentially, like a number 1 on the.
So you cannot judge how you think you feel about yourself with a shaved head based on one time, because it took me so long to get used to a shaved head. It took me probably 3 months to be like, you know what? It's all right.
It's not bad.
And when we shaved his head, his hair was like probably almost as long as mine is now. So
Yeah.
it went from being like
It was
long
extreme.
and like he has super
Gross,
short hair, so it was
dirty
like an
hippie.
afro,
I have an
So, like,
afro.
no hair at all. So
You're like, you're out of here. I had an afro. It wasn't like
Ugh.
locks and stuff. It was like poof.
yeah, it was
I have very curly.
When lockdown is finally over, I'm shaving all this off and getting my head tattooed. So
Oh, sick.
nice.
ready.
And then we're also coming to visit you guys. So,
Yeah, maybe I'll do it all in one go.
You
Yes.
should.
oh my God, go get your head tattooed by Oh my God, what's the guy's
My
name out in
brother's a
DC?
tattoo artist, you know, like a
Who?
really fucking good tattoo
brother.
artist.
That's not who I was thinking of, but maybe.
But you
No,
have to-
there's a
him
super
out.
famous one. I think he's in Red Deer. Oh my God, what's his name?
There's somebody famous in Red Deer.
It's you.
Impossible.
Where's Red Deer? Just kidding.
I can't remember the name. I'm
Gasoline
blanking.
Network?
I
I'll
already
send
have
you-
an artist I want to
I
do
know.
my
I'm
head.
just messing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you should check out my brother's work though. He's got some.
Send me a
I
link.
mean, I'll
I
get like a commemorative tattoo. I like doing that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Me too, because why the hell not?
Give me a sticker.
Yeah,
I
what the
like
hell?
stickers.
I feel like when you're this covered, you're just like, yeah, what the hell? We'll just get.
Yeah,
some
it's like
small-
at this point, it's like whatever. Just put it
Fill
here.
it up.
Yeah, exactly. I always do that. I'm like, yeah, sure. What the hell?
That's the way it starts, though. Is like you get like a bunch of meaningful stuff and whatever, and then eventually you're just like,
Yeah, what the hell?
sure.
I have
Yeah.
one meaningful tattoo.
Oh, this is a cute teddy bear. I want it.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
I just put meanings on them after because I know I'm gonna get asked like, what does this mean? I'm like, oh, this.
It means
actually-
mind your own
Well,
fucking business. That's what it means.
have
That's what you
25
say.
It means I like Earthworm Jim. Fuck off.
Yeah.
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 I like
that's really nice. Where'd you get that done?
Oh, the people touching you Ooh, on
You
the
see with your
bus.
fingers.
I get the hand grab and they turn it around and you're just like,
Yes.
no.
I don't let that happen
You also don't ride the bus.
anywhere.
put me in an arm bar while you're looking at my tattoos. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here, man.
Ugh.
So I see there's no more questions.
No.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Seems
Y'all
like
suck.
a good. No, they're. We appreciate everybody that stuck with us
We do.
thus far. I know there's a few other lives that started about 9 minutes ago.
Yep.
So we thank everybody that stuck with us.
For sure.
And next time we will have a couple questions or topics lined up. We just sort of wanted to put this out there. as
yeah,
a
little tester.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, as a place for people to kind of congregate. You know,
It's
if
a
you're feeling
safe space. It's soft. It's
no, it's not. I'm gonna fucking talk some shit, but I'll be real about it. I'm not gonna fucking protect feelings, but I'll be real about it.
Just joking.
Everybody goes through some shit.
Yeah.
So
Stick
we
with
just
it.
gotta be open and aware and cautious of it, and you know that's it.
Yeah, and for anyone who
Respectful.
actually, all jokes aside, who has anything they need to talk about, like I am open. If you just need to message me and just like vent or anything, even I'm a good listener, and I'm still making jokes, but that's my anxiety. But seriously, if anyone has to vent, or anything,
Anybody that's that way does the same thing, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same
I am
way.
open.
Sierra's the same way.
Yeah.
Like
I'm always a good wall to bounce off of. I can give
Yes.
advice. I can help. I've been through it.
I'll be jokey with you too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody that's going through anything, especially when it comes to this hobby, because I know the pressure, I know the bullshit that can come with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you lost your first clutch, or if you lost an animal and you just started out, or what, like, reach out.
Just
I know,
be patient because he might be driving.
Exactly.
but for messages like that, I will make special time.
Yeah.
If you want to like voice chat, if you need something, just let me know, and
exactly.
more than happy to.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know anything about snakes, but I did go to university for social work and focused on epigenetics. So
There you go.
So call Amy.
Yeah. We'll deal with the wives up stuff, and they can deal with the snake stuff. We'll be like, I know, he's not paying attention to you. It sucks.
Yeah. So what you need to do is you need to just go over and hit him.
Just start killing snakes.
Yeah.
That'll get his attention.
It does every time.
Every time.
It does.
I don't think you should be on any more of these.
It doesn't hurt after the first 7 or 8 times. Or at least I don't remember everything. I'm not sure.
She wouldn't make it past 2. She'd be the one that's gone.
I wouldn't make it past 1. There's no way I could kill this thing. I make pets out of the fucking rats. There's no way.
I can't let her come in the room while I'm feeding, because she'll pick them up and be like, "Oh, this is a cutie."
Yeah.
I told you to tell him not to send us cute ones.
Like legit.
The haggard looking ones.
Sal's laughing because when he happens to be like defrosting a mouse or a rat or whatever, he has to put like a towel or something over it.
Them.
Because if I go downstairs and like see it, I freak out.
Yeah, she's like, oh,
yeah.
Like,
I'm okay when they're dead. It's the live ones, because I'm just like, oh, we get some that are like little curly ones and like half hairless, and I'm just like,
Dumbos. Yeah.
oh, they're all
my
so
God.
cute.
Sal, I have a question for you before we go.
yes.
Why don't you have your incubator at home?
It's funny because I did think about that. My main concern was like we just don't really like our current house. We don't really have a room to have it in because we have 2 kids. So like the other spare bedrooms are kids' rooms, and then the other.
You can't put a lock on it and just put it in one of the kids' bedrooms.
That I don't trust that like at all.
You can't put a padlock on it. Your children can figure out a padlock.
They're crafty, man. Okay, but it's
if your kids can figure out a padlock, you shouldn't be breeding snakes, dude.
It's the Cornell's World one. What am I going to attach to the glass?
Yeah.
I guess I could. Yeah. I could do one of those sliding. I still wouldn't do that, man.
They could knock it over. They could.
There'd be some wooden toy smashed through it, and then it would be like, yeah, not.
That's fair. That's fair.
I have thought about that though. That was like one of the things when I brought it. I was like, fuck, man, should I bring it home or like? Because I thought about putting it in the basement too, but it gets so cold down there during the winter. So.
But
I know.
But the incubator
regulates its own temperature.
I know. I thought about it, but and then at the same time I'm like, fuck, man, I want it to be all in one spot too. I'd have to drive the eggs home, like it's
that won't be a problem though.
Shut up and let him do his thing.
No, I'm trying to alleviate Sal's
Yes.
anxiousness about the eggs and not being able to see them.
It does make me anxious. And also I cannot, because of the area, because it's like slightly on the outskirts of the city, the Wi-Fi, I cannot get Wi-Fi there. Like,
I have a super good idea. You can get rid of all the fucking fish tanks downstairs.
this isn't going to solve anything.
And then you can put your incubator down there.
I started something I didn't mean to. I apologize, Sal.
We're fighting all night. Thanks.
Well, with that, we're going to end this.
Have fun.
Goodbye.
My work here is done.
Appreciate it.
No.
No, just joking.
Since we don't have any more questions, I think this is a good time to wrap this
Yeah.
up. Thank you guys for coming on. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
The follow-up episodes will be a little more organized and planned and advertised. But we appreciate everybody that's stuck with us thus far. Thank you guys. I really hope that this monthly show helps at least one person. If anybody gets anything out of this that helps them, it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason we want to do this, because I know a lot of people can get discouraged by the easiest, tiniest shit, and I've been there. I know how hard that is. So if we can help even one person with even 10 episodes of this, or 20, or however many, it's worth it to me anyway.
Absolutely.
So
For sure.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watched. Thank you to everybody that's going to watch. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is fun.
Thank you guys.
The next ones will be much more fun. We're gonna actually try to bring in a different guest every week.
Yes,
along with with them. With them. Maybe you won't be here.
All right, see you guys.
No, we'll try to bring a different guest with Sal and Amy every week, and hopefully that just helps us reach more topics that maybe we didn't think to touch on our own. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We've had a lot of people reach out since I posted that Instagram post a couple weeks ago, and yeah, cool.
And our lines are always open.
Yes.
Always, all four of
Feel
us.
free.
Guys, thank you so much. Everybody that watched, Sal and Amy, thank you again. I've said it 5 times now.
Thank you guys.
We're gonna wrap this up. Have a good
Peace.
one.
Kawaii.
See you guys.
Bye.
Feel good, guys. Have a good weekend.